Hi guys, thanks for checking the video out. Steve Buzza here, and I'm at the Ledbetter Indoor Academy, Bangkok. But I spent last week in the States, so I went over to the PGA show. Massive. I was expecting it to be big, but it was bigger than I was expecting. All the manufacturers are there. But whilst I was there, I got to hit single length irons. So Edel have been kind of talking about how they're releasing these single length irons. I know a couple of other manufacturers have already done so. But what was interesting with Edel is they've gone straight into the market and they have included a 4-iron. So one of the issues you have with single length is getting the 4-iron to work correctly. So as you can imagine, I was excited to try them, excited to see had they succeeded. You know, had they built a product that actually works. So it was my first time experiencing single length stuff, so we have had a couple of product reviews on the channel, but it was actually James Picard doing it, not myself. So it was the first time I had experienced them, and the first thing I was really surprised that I didn't really notice any difference with the long irons. You know, it didn't feel like when I was standing there and hitting them that, oh, this is a single length club, this club is short. Do you mean it felt absolutely fine? You know, the way that it's built, obviously the lie angle is slightly different, and I found, like I said, I didn't really see any difference. I'm somebody that I quite like to choke down and hit like little punch shots, so you could argue that something slightly shorter kind of goes back into what I'm used to doing with like that punch shot. But yeah, like I said, I didn't really notice any difference. Didn't really notice any difference with the 8-iron. But then hitting wedges, the wedges did feel strange, and I didn't like the wedges, if I'm honest, with the longer shaft. But one of the things I do with my wedges, I do get quite handsy and I get a bit flippy. So you could argue standing up a bit taller could help. It was interesting with the wedge. You could make like a smooth swing, and it felt like a real laboured, like just really putting no effort in, and you could hit it like 105 yards. That's what I was doing. So the sand wedge was 55 degrees and I was hitting it 105 yards. So again, it was different. I think you'd have to try it for a while, and especially as obviously I've played for so many years, difference feels weird. But like I said, it was weird that I was expecting to think, well, this 4-iron is real short, and like I said, I didn't really experience that. So yeah, that was kind of my initial thoughts on the clubs. Did the 4-iron work? So obviously that's the interesting question, and yeah, with me hitting it, yeah, it did. You know, like I was averaging 215 yards carry, so that's pretty good. You know, that's pretty much in the realms of where I am. But I carry a Callaway UT, so I'm not carrying a standard 4-iron. So a lot of the things that they've put into this Edel head to make it work in single length, I've kind of already got it. You know, like variable thickness, hollow body. You know, that's already in the 4-iron that I'm using. So it's an interesting compare. I tend to hit that one, I like to think I hit it 222 yards. However, I've just hit some shots at just here and was finding that I was carrying it, to be honest, in and around 215. So I think the Edel 4-iron is behaving exactly like my Callaway UT. So doing that's quite impressive. Some of the things that people say that they'll struggle with the 4-iron in a single length is they won't be able to launch it. You know, I was launching it on average at 13 degrees. Tour average is 11, so I mean, there was no launch issue at all for me. Spinning it so I was averaging 4,400. I mean, tour average is 4,800, so again, it's very much in the realms of where it needs to be. Ball speed, so again, people say shorter stuff, you may maybe not be able to get enough ball speed. My ball speed was 140 mile per hour, tour average, or like the tour averages that I've used here, 137. So it was working really nicely. and beautiful looking head as well. When I was getting fitted, it's quite an interesting one. They're only offering graphite, so their thinking behind it is, I think it's Patterson Golf. They've teamed up with a shaft specialist, and they've actually got shafts that are designed specifically for single length. They've changed some of the, like with graphite, obviously it's basically loads of graphite sheets and it's wound up. So they've changed a few things in the shafts to try and change the kick points, etc. I can't comment on that. You need a robot really to see those differences. But I did like the feel. I'm somebody that uses very heavy C-taper X's, so I've got like 130 gram shaft. So the thought of going into a graphite, I wasn't really that keen on to start with. But they've got loads of shaft options. They do have some very heavy stuff. And what was very impressive is in the head they've got weights that they can change out. So when they were fitting me, I was hitting it okay, but the club didn't feel great. He switched the weight in the head, and then it felt like a really powerful and stable iron. So yeah, that was quite impressive. So yeah, but I was impressed with them. I don't feel like I need to change. I'm not having a problem controlling my shaft lengths in my irons, so I don't really have an intention to go into single length. However, if you're somebody that's been struggling, I can certainly see the benefits. Like I said, I didn't really like the feel of the wedges, but if you're somebody that doesn't like hitting these like half shots and stuff, standing taller and just being able to make these like smoother swings, you might find that you can deliver the club better and play some good golf. So if you're in the market for new clubs and are thinking single length irons, I have found nothing to suggest that it's a fad and it's not going to work. And hitting their product, it felt great. Another good example of how custom fitting is really important, and they've done it not only to give me numbers that I require, but also it changes the feel. It just, the custom fitting gave you such a beautiful feel. So yeah, I was impressed. Get some comments down below. Are you somebody that has tried Edel, or like you've got Cobra and Sterling? If you're somebody that has tried those now, maybe somebody that's even gone out and bought a single length iron set, I'd love to hear what you've got to say. Get some comments down below, and I hope to catch you soon.